Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 40 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. So, yay, I made it to day 40, only 60 days to go. I was really kind of hoping I was already halfway done or done already because I'm just kind of exhausted from doing my writing. Probably just exhausted because I haven't been taking care of myself. Have not learned how to do that quite yet. I keep getting ideas and just not following through with them. Grew up in a very inconsistent home. Things were not done consistently. Roles kept constantly changing, so it just never seemed to matter. And now as an adult, I realize how important consistency can be as far as like getting things done, staying on top of stuff, having the stamina to do things, getting your body used to a routine. All of those things are good. I just haven't figured one out yet. So I've just been really tired all day today. I slept in a little bit and then I just kind of laid around, dozed off a little bit. Just have not had energy to do anything today. I had no motivation, no desire whatsoever to do my writing. And then I'm looking at the time and going, I just want to sleep. I just want to go back to sleep. Um, so I opened up my laptop and I kind of looked at my recognizing God's hand in my life and I was like, I just can't do this today. I need to. I need to finish it. I know I need to face all of those things. And I just was like, have total aversion of doing that today. And when I was thinking about what I needed to do today and worried about today, I just kept thinking, I need to take care of myself. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I need to just get some sleep. I need to eat. I need to, just take care of myself, maybe pamper myself for a day. I don't know. Anyway, kind of thinking about going up to visit family for Christmas just so I can take a vacation and not have to worry about work. Don't know that I can afford to take the time off of work because I don't get paid if I don't go to work. So probably can't afford to do it, but just the idea of not having to worry about doing anything for a whole week would be so nice, except that it would be right in the middle of my doing my 100 days of writing, so I wouldn't get out of that or my videos or other things that I have to do for the day. So uh, I don't know. It would just be a break from everything else I've been doing, I guess. But probably not something I can afford to do. So, such is life. Such is life. I think I get a little disappointed because I want to do more things. I want to be able to afford those things. And maybe someday I can afford to take all that time off. Maybe someday I will have my books published. And I was like, I wish someday was today so I didn't have to worry about it. But I do know I'm working towards those goals, so it's okay because I'm working towards something better. It's just going to take time to get there, and it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen today. So when I went to do my writing tonight, I attempted to do a little bit, and then I was like, I can't do this. So I opened up a blank document, and I just typed up a bunch of random words, and kind of like a free form poem. So it wasn't really like rhyming or any other thing. It was just I didn't pop it up on my laptop to read it. It was just like a page and a half. But I mean, it wasn't like full sentences. Each line made it a page and a half that way because it was just start it with I don't want to write tonight, and then just all of the different things that I'm dealing with. Just kind of a different line. Some of the things rhymed, some of them didn't. Um, I don't know, just a random free form poem that I wrote tonight. But I was like, I wrote something, and it was a way to kind of just express how I was feeling and feeling just kind of heavy and weighed down, and realizing that I just need to be looking up to the sky, to God, to heaven, because that's where light comes from. That's where the way out can be seen. Because otherwise, I'm like trapped in some dark forest, muggy area, and I just can't seem to see my way out. I don't know where the path is going. There's dim lights, and I get so focused on what's right in front of my face that I can't see the big picture. I can't see the perspective. I get lost in what's around me, and I get confused. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it was kind of nice to write that poem and to remember I need to look up, and that the Savior's there. There's a light there. There's a way up. There's a way out. There's hope. I just have to look in the right direction. And sometimes it's not right in front of my face, and sometimes it's the bigger picture, the eternal perspective, and not just what's in the moment. Um, and what I'm doing in the moment should be guiding me in the direction of my eternal goals and purposes in life, and not just for instant gratification kind of a deal. So I just, it was a nice little reminder of that, reminder that I need to just, take care of myself, reminder of which direction I need to be looking, to figure out where I'm going and to remember what I'm doing. And then I my nephew for Thanksgiving, he sent me a link to his book that he's working on. So I got to read his book tonight. I decided I'll just read that. It was kind of like beta reading, like I did for my friend. Um, and it was a really interesting story. And I have to say, I love my nephew. I love his writing. And it really seriously reminded me of my first story, The Fall of Espingmania, the way that I wrote it the first time, where all the characters are all merged together. It's from everybody's point of view. And it just jostles back and forth. And I was like, oh my gosh, my nephew's so much like me. This is awesome. I love it. But of course, he's, what is he, 13? And so I'm like, cool, I'm writing like I did back when I was like in elementary or junior high, which is kind of where I feel like I stopped with my writing, and I didn't like take any more classes or learn how to improve my writing or my English or whatever skills. So it was just kind of entertaining for me to read it, and I was like, okay, I don't want to go through and like make a whole bunch of comments in his book or look like I'm rewriting the entire thing like he's not doing a good job. So I just kind of made a comment on the side in the little document, just like, hey, I love your writing, I love your story, I can't wait to read all of it. But just side notes, when you're doing internal thought processes or internal thoughts, you can italicize them. And if you put a paragraph or line break in between each person that's speaking, it kind of makes it easier to understand who's saying what in the story, so it makes it a little less confusing. And then, of course, when I got to the end, I was like, and now what happens? Because you left me hanging. Because, I mean, he didn't finish the whole book. It was only like 3 or 4 chapters. It wasn't very long. And, of course, he does throw in new characters and storylines and plot things. And I'm like, this should probably be a separate chapter or something. I don't know. But I didn't go into all of that because I figured that's something more for editing, and especially where he's at, I doubt he's as fragile about his writing as I am about mine, but I don't want to make him fragile about his writing. I want to encourage him to keep writing, and I want to read the rest of his story. And I figure if he does decide he wants to publish it, that going back through and editing it or making those other changes to his writing is something that he can learn how to do along the way, or he can share it with like an English teacher or someone else that can, tell him what he needs to do to fix it, because I don't actually know what he needs to do to fix it. I mean, there's some things that are a little bit confusing. I'm like, okay, I got kind of confused. You just threw this in here, or maybe separate this here, or something. But it's a really interesting story. So I love that my nephew has this great story. I love that I've inspired him to write, and I love that I get to read his writing, and I love that he writes like I did. So this is awesome. Like, it kind of runs in the family. He's, but I love that because I I kind of understood his writing because that's how I wrote my first book. So, which makes me really appreciate my little sister's patience because she actually got through my whole first book, confusing and everything that was in there. And she didn't criticize all of my writing and tell me all the things that I needed to do to fix it. So I'm very grateful that I don't have to do that with my nephew. I mean, I did make some minor suggestions, some spelling errors, some capitalization for words or whatever, but nothing too major. So I'm like, but I'm worried because I'm like, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I want to encourage him to keep writing. I want to know what happens to the rest of his story. I like his story. I like his ideas. I hope that he's better at taking a little bit of helpful criticism than I am. Trying not to make too many changes. I don't know that he actually sent it to me to change it. I think he just sent it to me to read it to show off because he's like all proud of himself for doing this book that he's working on, and I'm proud of him for doing it. So I hope that I don't know, maybe I should have put that I was proud of him for doing it. I did tell him I really liked his story ideas. I did tell him I want to read the rest of his story. I look forward to the rest of his story, that he left me hanging. I want to know what happens. So I'm grateful that I can at least do that much tonight and kind of nice reminder that I can inspire young minds, even though, I mean, I'm not the one that inspired that story. That's his own story idea. Also, another reminder that everyone has their own story to tell, and no one else has my story, just like I don't have his story. So if I don't tell my story, then no one else knows what it is. So I need to tell my story. I need to write it. I need to share it so people can read it, so people can relate to it. And some people will relate to it, and some people won't, and that's okay. But it was just, I don't know, it was kind of nice to take a little bit of a break today. Kind of took a little bit of a break yesterday too. I really need to get back into to doing it, but I'm also grateful that I have this commitment because it does make me have to at least open my laptop and type up something so I can feel like I'm writing. And I was thinking about all my other different stories, and to be perfectly honest, I really want to work on The Boy from the Stone because that one's a fun story, and I want a fun story right now. I like that character because he's just hilarious. He doesn't take anything in life seriously. Everything is a joke, everything is a prank, everything is a whatever, and people are trying to teach him how to be responsible, and he's like gonna be in a position of power as he's growing up, so he needs to learn how to be responsible, how to take care of other people and all these things, and he just thinks it's a joke. He just laughs about everything, makes it a game. So that story is just more fun to write. And right now, with everything that I've been dealing with, it feels like I know it's all good stuff that I need to, old stuff that I need to get out of my system that will make me feel a whole lot better when it's out. And it will be freeing and relieving and all of those other things. It's exhausting, and I'm physically exhausted. I'm emotionally exhausted. I'm not sleeping. I'm not taking care of myself, and I'm not as much as I like writing and I'm learning from my writing, I'm not looking forward to writing every day. It's more like I'm dreading it because I just don't want to share that part of my life right now. And I know I need to. It's not that I don't need to share it. I do. And I've been sharing it in my videos. I've been sharing it since I started my 100 days of gratitude. And now I'm at 40 days of writing. And I think I've shared something I'm grateful for with every day too. So I'm like, was that 140 days of finding things to be grateful for? And it has changed my perspective, and I feel like I've been a lot happier and very blessed with all the things that are going on in my life right now. And the crazy thing is, I don't think my life is that different than it was 140 days ago, other than I'm just more aware of what's going on. I'm more aware of the blessings that I have in my life, and I just have a better attitude. I'm more focused on what I have and what I'm working towards obtaining versus what I don't have, or what I feel like I missed out on, or what was taken away, or whatever negative things that I used to be thinking. And not that those negative thoughts don't pop into my head, because they still do. But I am grateful that I can work through them. I'm grateful that I can pray. I'm grateful for friends and family that are loving and supporting of me and that understand what I'm going through. And I'm trying not to make excuses to not do things. And I just need to learn to do better, to take care of myself, to let myself sleep, to stop stressing, to not run myself into the ground, because I'm not going to do myself or anybody else any good if I'm like, can't function. So I need to function. I do need to sleep, but I also need to work. So I need to find a healthy balance. And I know I keep talking about trying to find a healthy balance, but it's taking me a while to figure it out, to sort it out. And it's hard to make that change. It's hard to be consistent with myself. It's hard to be like, okay, this is what I have to do every day. And even though I know what I have to do, I am doing most of everything that I said I'm going to do every day. I have skipped a few days of reading my scriptures and meditation. I've skipped a few days of writing in my journal, but I have done my writing or written something, and I have done my YouTube videos every day. So I am doing things. I am working on things, and I did make some more muffins tonight because I gave all of mine away last night, so I wanted some more. Um, so I did make food for myself to eat, which is a good thing. So I am doing some things. It's just I think I think I just expect too much from myself. I put like where I want to be. I see where I want to be, and I see where I'm at, and somehow I expect myself to just be where I want to be, like to have that kind of energy, to be that consistent. And some days I can do it. Some days I can be like, all right, I did all of this, and this is an awesome day. I did everything the way I said I was going to do it. It all worked out exactly the way it was supposed to, and life is good. And other days I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I commit to this? Because I can't do this today. And I have to just push through those days, and I have to stop beating myself up for not being where I imagine that I will be. And maybe I'll be there someday, and maybe I won't. Maybe I'm doing all this work and I'm going to end up somewhere completely different. But it's the direction that God wants me to be in. So um, it's and to me, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be like or where I'm going to be. I just know that I'm working towards becoming a better person. I'm working towards getting my books published. But I don't know what happens once they get published. I don't know how long it takes for people to read them. I don't know if they end up going around the world or if they only go to like 20 or 30 people. Um, my fantasies of becoming a famous author may never happen in my lifetime. I may write all these books and 20 or 30 people will be the only people that ever read them. I, I don't have any idea. Or I may write a whole bunch of books and maybe, 500,000 people will read them. I don't know, or maybe somewhere in between, maybe 100, 200,000 people. I don't know. Um, I have no idea. And that's the thing. I don't know if they'll take off or when they'll take off or any of those other things. And I won't know until I actually publish them. So, and of course, I'm kind of waiting with Illinois and the Teachers of Powers, and I'm trying to working on recognizing God's hand in my life. And I just couldn't do it tonight. I looked at it for a second. I made a couple of minor changes for a couple of sentences, and then I was like, okay, this all has to move somewhere else. And I couldn't get myself to read it tonight. And I'm like, you know what? That's okay because I'm exhausted and it's, I need to be in a better frame of mind to work on something that's going to bring up old emotions and other things, which is probably why I was thinking I need to take care of myself. I need to get some more rest. I need to be healthy and in a good frame of mind to finish my book. And it's not that I can't finish it. I can. I know I can, and I know I need to, and I know God will help me to do that. But I think sometimes it's okay to just take a break and work on something else, like maybe The Boy from the Stone, or today, like writing some random free-form poem and reading my nephew's work to just kind of gives me an idea as to how far I've come, and kind of also the idea that I'm like, maybe I write like a teenage boy, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, really. Um, it's just kind of fun to see because I mean, he has a great story idea. He has a great story, and maybe it's not worded the way that most people would like to read a book, but I like his story. So I want to continue to encourage him to continue writing. And as he gets older and as he learns more, his writing will improve. That's how it works with everybody. It's not going to be perfect the first time through, and you don't publish the book based on the first time you wrote it either, because books are rewritten multiple times. So obviously, because I've written The Lion and the Teachers of Powers, I've gone back through and revised The Lion and the Teachers of Powers. I've sent it to someone to edit it, and I'm probably going to have to go back and rewrite it when she's done again. So it may or may not get published for Christmas. That's my fantasy goal. It would be nice to have, but I don't think it will happen. And I want to say the same for recognizing God's hand in my life, but if I can't get myself to write it, that's not going to happen either. But I still have 60 days, and I should be able to finish recognizing God's hand in 60 days. And hopefully in 60 days, if people actually get back to me when I send them my stuff so I can revise it, I should be able to get one or both of those books published by the end of my 60 days. And that would be cool because then I want to do 100 days of marketing where I get my website up and running and where I figure out how to do online marketing and start doing thumbnails for my YouTube videos and figuring out how to try to get monetized and get people aware of my books and my writing and all of those fun, fabulous things that I have no idea how to do. So I get to learn. And then, of course, I need to do like 100 days focusing on my finances. And then I probably need to do 100 days focusing on my physical health, my working on losing some weight, eating healthier, not going out to eat, exercising, all of those fun things. I'm just trying not to get overwhelmed with everything that I want to do. And again, it's like I picture myself being able to do all of these things at some point in my life and not having to work this regular job that I have right now because I will be able to be making money from my books and my YouTube videos, and I won't need this job anymore. So that would be nice. That's a fun little fantasy, but that may not happen. I may get these books written, I may do all of those things, and I may end up just getting me a different job that's a little bit more consistent with the pay and the hours and whatever. I don't know yet. Um, we'll see what happens when I get my books published. See, this is me jumping way too far into the future and not just looking to God to see what direction He wants me to go in. And God does this thing where it's line upon line and one step at a time, and you kind of have to go through the trial, through the process, and then when you get to the other side, you get to see what the results are. And so I can imagine all I want what the results are, but I won't actually know until I get through the whole process. So I am just in the process, and I have to remember to trust the process and be okay with the process and know that it will work. Because it's worked for other people, so it can work for me. I just have to put forth the time and the effort to do it, and it will work. And I am grateful to know that. And I think that's all I have for right now because I'm tired and I just want to go to bed. So if you like me and my crazy ramblings, you can hit like, subscribe. You can share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude.